Hello, and welcome to Discovering Dominion with Dr. Andre. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we're going to be having another Discovering Dominion deliberation. I call these talks Discovering Dominion deliberations because the word deliberate means to do something that is done consciously and intentionally. And when we are discussing life changing matters, we want to consciously and intentionally consider these things. And secondly, the second definition for deliberation is to engage in long and careful consideration. Long and careful consideration. So today, I'm going to share some powerful information with you about the subject called dominion. This subject is so important. It is vital to where you're trying to get to in life. So let's get into it. Now, so what if I told you that there's one secret that can change your life so dramatically that within 3 to 6 months, you will begin to see life as you actually desire it to be. What if the desired life that you want can begin to come into fruition within the first, I would say, 1 to 6 months of understanding this secret? One secret can change your life. What if I told you that? Well, that's an astonishing claim. That's an astonishing statement because most people have been trying to figure out how to change their lives for as long as they can remember. And I want to tell you that life changing, real changes to life do not come easily, and it's been very difficult for people to find out, how to change their life. If I ask you right now, if you could just give me a 1 to 2 minute answer to how do you actually change your life, what would you say? How would you answer that? Because so many of us have tried so many different things, and it's just like life is not easy to change unless you know the formula. So I'm gonna give you that secret right now. I'm gonna reveal one secret to you that can change your life in the next 1 to 6 months to where you'll begin to see life look like the life that you desire. Now, watch this. As I told you before, a lot of my principles that I teach people, the principles that I live life by, are biblical principles. Why? Because the wisdom and and the principles in the Word of God, they are so powerful that they work. They literally work. That the Bible is a book that God left as a manual for us to learn how to live life the way He really designed it. So that's where a lot of the principles come from. So there's a in Second Corinthians chapter 4 verse 18, it says, while we look not at things that are seen, but at things that are unseen. While we look not at things that are seen, but at things that are unseen. Also, I want to combine that. We'll talk about that in just a second. I want to combine that with the principle found in Proverbs 4:23. Listen what it says. It says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. But out of it are the issues of life. Guard your heart with all diligence. One version of it says, above everything that you guard your heart, because out of it are the issues of life. Now, humans were designed with this thing the Bible calls a heart. Okay, the Bible calls it a heart, but it's not talking about the organ that pumps in your heart. I like to call it a container. A container. Now, this container holds the content that we live out of. That's what it means by guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. We live out of the content in this container. When it says out of it are the issues of life, what it really means is whatever is in that container is where your life will come out of. Your life comes, issues or flows out of the content that's in that container. Now, that is so important because if your life is a compilation of everything that's been stored in your container up to now, that means that this container is of utmost importance, and my life is a compilation of it. I mean, I can look at my life and try to define it, but the better way to do that is look at the content, because the content tells me what type of life I'm going to have. Now, watch this. Um, where does this content come from? Where does it come from? Now, in Second Corinthians, it says, while we look not at things that are seen, but things that are unseen. So the content that we have inside of us comes from what we look at. What we look at. Now, let me explain. There's a difference between what we look at and what we see. So we are designed to have a kind of focus where we can focus on things so intentionally that it turns into content in our container that we then live out of. Now, this is a very oversimplified explanation of this. I'll do some teachings that are much more in depth about this, but just understand for this short video that content in you comes from your focus, things that you focused on over time. Now, let's imagine for a second, let me give you an example. Let's imagine for a second that you're walking down the street and you see a rock. You look at a rock, the rock is laying on the ground, right? So basically, you saw the rock, but you did not see the rock. You looked at the rock, but you didn't see the rock. Now, what does that mean? This means that there was nothing about that rock that you deemed so important that you had to gauge your focus on intentionally to gather and to come to some kind of conviction about what the rock was, what role it played in your life, what you needed to do with the rock. There was nothing about the rock that was important to you. And so you walked past the rock. So you saw the rock, but you didn't see the rock. Now, there are things in life that we actually see. We stop, we focus, we pay attention, and those are the things that create content. We have experiences. Think about all of the experiences in your life, things that were said to you by people in authority, people that were important to you that you saw as these big figures. They said certain things to you. You focus on what they said. It became a part of your self-image. So, you are a combination, or I would like to say a conglomeration of all of those experiences, words, um, uh, observations, things you learned that stuck out to you, that stayed with you, just a combination of things people said to you. So now that became your container, that became your content. Now, watch this. The thing that we have seen, the things that we've really seen, became our outer paradigms. They became the window through which we view life from. So you look at life through a window. This window was called a paradigm. It's called your view of the world, your life as it pertains or relates to the world that you live in. And so this viewpoint, these perspectives that you have about life, they come out of your container. They become the window through which you see life. Here's the point. Here's the whole point. Until the view out of this window changes, your life will not and cannot change. So the reason why life doesn't change as easily as we would like it to is because we don't actually know the point of attack. The point of attack is I must change the content in me to give me a different view, perspective of life, a different angle at life. For example, if you are driving your car, the things that you can see are on eye level. So you can see a few of the cars in front of you. You can look in the rear view, see a couple of the few of the cars behind you. But if I am in a helicopter, my perspective on life is much different than yours. See, I can see things far beyond where you can see because why? My perspective and the angle at which I'm looking at life is totally different. So if I were to call you on the phone and say, hey, don't go down that road, there's an accident. If you were to say, well, from what I see, everything is clear. The road is clear. I'm going to keep going. Well, that means that you're making decisions just based on what you can see. If that window does not change, if that viewpoint that you see life from does not change, life cannot change because you live out of that container, that paradigm, that way of looking at things. Here's what I came to tell you. Dominion is the original window that God gave man to view his world through. When God first created man, he said, let man have dominion. He literally gave him a tutorial on how to view life, how to deal with life what to put in his container about life so that he would live out of this perspective about life, that he was supposed to be in dominion. And I'm telling you now that dominion is a totally different paradigm. It's a different way of looking at life that if you have not been schooled and trained by someone that God gave the revelation to, it's just something that you never would have come across. It's something that you wouldn't be living life and looking at life from this perspective. So I can tell you, thank God. God gave me the revelation. He told me to share it with everyone. And so I want you to understand with the dominion construct, it's about changing the paradigm or the window through which you look at life from so that your life can actually change. This window has to change. And dominion is the mindset. It's a skill set. It's a way of understanding life how God originally designed it so that you can get back to dominating. That's what it is all about. And so I want you to understand that when he gave him dominion as a window, as a paradigm, he was literally giving him the abundant paradigm. He was saying, if you want to have an abundant life, if you want to have a life that is filled with wonderful things, if you want to have a life that is has no lack, no shortage, if you want to have a life where you're on top, where you're in control, you have to see life through the eyes of dominion. And so that's what dominion is. It's the abundant lifestyle. This perspective will change your life until you are living abundantly. So in the dominion construct, I am going to restore the dominion paradigm in your container. That's what it's all about. And you're going to see life from a completely new outlook. And that new outlook is going to cause you to operate in life so much differently. I hope you understand. I know that you are getting excited about this because this is what it's all about. It's about changing that paradigm so that your life can actually really change. All right. God bless you. Listen, thank you for spending this time with me. I want to thank you for joining me today on Discovering Dominion Deliberations. And remember, there's more to come. This is Dr. Andre signing off saying, go dominate.